East Coast of the United States. It is now 4:38 a.m. I do want to apologize for the technical difficulties, guys. You know, I'm out here every morning at 4:30 a.m. However, over the last couple of days, it's actually been for the better part of a week, when I go live, for some reason, it is not maintaining the connection on my feed, and it is dropping off all of my connectivity, all of my my previous stored go live. And so I'm having to start new every morning, which means that setting up my go live later really isn't working. So I want to thank everyone for being here this morning. I want to ask, as you guys come in, as always, drop in the chat that you're up and you're at 'em. This is this wake up call. I'm BNV. My name is Oloropo Bird, here with the BNV Finance Fixers, and I am excited to be up and moving and working today, guys. Excited for the activity that we've seen, the movement on the channel, but most importantly, excited for the high energy and development that we're starting to see take place in our lives. A lot of things have been moving for us. We've been able to add some elements to our development. We've been able to add some pieces to what we do. And now I'm out here, I'm doing this walk here for you guys this morning. Thank you. This is your morning wake up motivation. Even on a Saturday morning, guys, 4:30, we get up and we get going. I want to appreciate all of you for being here. I want to appreciate the expressions of gratitude and thanks. And I want to also thank you for working on you guys. This is what we do here in the morning. This is how we grow. This is how we get better. This is how we get stronger. And I want to encourage you and remind you that your development, your growth, your personal purpose and goals are achievable. You're not alone. Good morning, Victor. Welcome in. Not gonna say that, but thank you for stopping past, guys. I appreciate you being here. Go ahead, put a thumbs up in the and a like. Drop a comment in the chat. I appreciate you showing up this morning. But I do want to make sure that I let everyone know, always Sunday to Sunday, guys, always up at 4:30 out here doing the walk, motivating and encouraging. This is not about playing games. This is not about other people. This is always about you. This is always about your development. Welcome in, guys. Focus indeed. Stephanie, thanks for stopping in. William and Jesse, good to see you guys. Good morning. I want to be a spark in the lives of those who need it. We're up and ready to go. As always, guys, drop a thumbs up. I'm seeing you in the chat. Good morning, Zach. How are you doing? William, it's a pleasure again. And Victor, good morning. And thank you for, God bless you as well this morning. Am I going to, what is that? Sprint today. So today does not include sprints. I do have a extended yoga session scheduled for today. Don't know if any of you guys have done yoga before, but it is a challenge. I spent most of my fitness career picking up heavy things and putting them down. So now I am doing some more mobility and fitness, stretching, development for what I'm doing now. So again, this morning, guys, we're talking about leadership. I appreciate everyone being here. Please drop a thumbs up. I appreciate the comments. And as always, if you have any questions that I have the opportunity to get to them, I will take my best opportunity to do so. Stephen, welcome in. Thank you for being here. I'm not sure. Every day I end up with about 3.5 miles. I walk away from the house and then run back. Zach, not a problem. So welcome in. I'm not practicing the month of Ramadan, but I do fast and I do supplicate and I do give all glory to God for my existence. So that's a daily journey for me. So the thing about getting fit, Zach, is regardless of the age, depending on the level of fitness that you're trying to achieve, what's most important, and I say this to the guys on the channel all the time, you can always get started. You don't have to worry about, can I get a gym membership? Can I do anything specific? Or what type of workout should I do? The key to making sure you're getting fit and making sure you're taking strides is doing something. So you can do that right now. The first step could be getting up, doing 10 or 15 jumping jacks, doing some quick lunges, maybe a few squats. All of those things can be considered a part of a fitness journey. So do not hesitate. Do not hesitate to always take the opportunities to be fit. And so, as I said before, this morning is about leadership, right? And everything that we talk about here is about discipline. I always share the 4 pillars of discipline, guys. And those 4 pillars are always the same. It's repetition, consistency, patience, and perseverance. And the reason those 4 pillars are going to always be the same is because those 4 pillars, when you use them together, they will help create a foundation of discipline. And discipline is a tool on which you can use on anything, and you can achieve success and mastery, guys. So by understanding those 4 pillars, by putting those into place, by learning discipline, once you learn discipline, you're unstoppable, guys. From that point, it's a matter of being self-aware and self-accountable, and that's what this morning is about. Because being self-aware is simply saying that it's my responsibility to ensure that I'm taking care of the things that I'm supposed to be taking care of, right? You have to be responsible for your actions, and that starts with being self-aware. That means removing the excuses, right? We're not perfect, right? But we have to also, we can oftentimes accept the areas of us that are good and are strong, but we must also be able to accept our issues. We must be able to accept the areas in which we are not perfect, right? So how do we develop in that space if we don't accept that these are areas that we need work on? How do we grow in the space of being better, stronger, becoming a bigger, becoming bigger in our own lives if the only things about ourselves that we're willing to look at are the things that we do well? And anything that is a challenge for us, we shift and we place it on the outside world. We shift and we place it on something that doesn't have anything to do with us or isn't directly within our power to change. We have to become self-aware, because in order for us to lead anyone else, we must first be able to lead ourselves. Let me see. From Renner. So, Stephen, so let's take a look at things, right? So this is what I mean about being self-aware. This is the thing that I mean about being disciplined. And this is what I mean. A lot of things are included in here and a lot of discussions that we've had before. I don't know if you guys have seen Stephen's question down below, but the question is a financial question. And it says, should a person buy a car before tariffs if they can barely afford one but need one? All right, now, everything starts with you, right? Discipline starts with you. And when most of the time when we start talking about discipline and we start talking about being, showing repetition and consistency, what's important to understand is that if you need a car, you need a car. That's part of your development. That's part of your journey. Doesn't matter if they're tariffs, doesn't matter what time of year it is, doesn't matter. If you need a car, if you need a car, now there's a difference between I want a car and I need a car. If you need a car as part of your journey, then you need a car. So then you have to ask yourself the question of, how do I achieve getting this car? What are the steps that I need to take? This really isn't a question about a car, it's a question about finances. It's a question about your financial ability, your ability to manage your finances, stay responsible, and do what you need to do. It doesn't matter if they're tariffs or they're no tariffs. Doesn't matter if they're taxes. Doesn't matter if you live in North Carolina, North Dakota. None of that matters. What matters is you, right? And this is why I say that. when we start talking about and we start looking at outside factors, now we've immediately given ourselves an opportunity to say, this is why I can't do something. Well, I would have bought a car, but they had tariffs. Well, prior to tariffs, they didn't. And you didn't have a car then, and you needed a car then, right? And so what's changed? Really, for you, nothing. The only thing that you have to be accountable to, the thing that has to be important is you need to make sure you're taking the right steps to achieve the goal. How do we achieve the goal? How do we take those steps? It is not about the external factors of tariffs. It's about self-accountability. Are you doing the right thing? How much money are we spending on coffee? How much money are we spending on games? How much money are we spending on eating out, watching movies and streaming services? And we need a car. All of these things are secondary. Entertainment, how much money are we spending on things that are not bringing value to our life? How much time are we spending on things that are not allowing us to grow or are not a part of our development? I can't say this with more sincerity or earnestness. Purchasing the car, if you need that, then you make the changes in your life to achieve that. This isn't about tariffs. It doesn't matter when you purchase it or what the cost may be. And this is one of the things that the wealthy and the rich have found out, is that as long as you place it on external factors, there will always be limits to what you're capable of achieving. In order to truly be able to achieve, in order to truly be able to accomplish, you have to make sure that you understand that these factors are these limiting factors that you place on yourself that are out of your control will not help you get to your goal. I want to motivate you. I want to encourage you to take a look at yourself. Take a long, stern look at what it is you say you want and what it is you're willing to do to really get it. Because once we start taking self-accountability, things have to change. We have to change. If we don't, we're going to continue to do what we've always done, and we're going to continue to get what we've always gotten. You can't expect for your outcome to change if your input remains the same. And that's an important part about self-accountability and discipline, because we have to lock down. All right, Hilda, about kids being spoon-fed. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about in that regards. Could you explain a little bit more? Jesse says the only payment someone should have should be a mortgage. That's kind of that's questionable, Jesse, but I would like to hear more of your thoughts on that. All right, Dan. Here's what's important, Dan, as I tell everybody, man. You have to make the decisions about what's best for you. Right? Everybody has to determine whether or not the consequences or the benefits, the pros and cons of whatever work they do is appropriate for them. My recommendation is if you have the mindset to be able to get out and get work done, then find a field that's going to allow for you to use your skill set. That's a skill set. Don't look at, so it's not about what you do. It's not about where you do it. It's about how you do it. And it's about why you do it, right? Because you can do what you do anywhere for anybody. The question is, how well do you do it? That's intrinsic to you. That has nothing to do with the outside world. How you do the work you do is based on you. And then why you do it is also based on you, because only you can determine your why. Car is just a vehicle, get from point A to point B. Jesse, kids need to be spoon-fed nowadays. All for them. All right, so I want to say a couple of things, man. I want to say a couple of things in terms of kids being spoon-fed. Expect. Hey, Don, I'm always glad I can help, but I want to encourage you, man. I do this every morning from 4:30 to 5. Believe that you can, man. So the first step to doing it, you say you haven't started a workout plan, man. If you get up and you do something, any action you take immediately removes that. Immediately you're like, I worked out. And workouts don't have to be a half an hour. They don't have to be an hour and a half. Get up, give yourself 5 minutes. Give yourself some exercise. Give yourself something and then continue to grow, continue to push. True indeed. And it's not just the youth. And so I want to talk a little bit about what Hilda's saying in regards to some people need to be spoon-fed. The important thing, right, is because part of what I found in my journey, right, in this self-discipline journey, is I had to start to understand I used to be a believer of everything started with you. You have to learn to love yourself in order to learn to love others. You have to learn to care for yourself in order to care for others. You have to learn to lead yourself in order to lead others. And those things are quasi-true. What's important is you need to start to implement things in your life, but then you have to put yourself in service for others. Once you start to find a way where your life has a significant portion that says, my job, my responsibility, my care is for others. I have to start solving problems for other people. I have to start being in a space to be a solution. And this doesn't mean that you are the money to care for someone. It doesn't mean that you have to directly care for someone, but you have to find it in you to care enough to be there for someone, to support mentally, emotionally. You have to learn to dedicate your discipline towards having that type of development. Once you do that, then you'll start to see, you're right, there are some people who need things laid out for them. There are some people who don't understand the value of discipline. There's some people who do not know that discipline is how you build great wealth. And wealth is not about money. Wealth is not about your car. Wealth is not about your mortgage. Wealth is not about your land. Wealth is not about your bank account. Wealth is about the freedom and your ability to spend time, quality time, with the people you love in the way in which you want to spend time with them. So we're not just talking about getting out here and spending time with people and walking around, going from one job to the next job, right? What we're talking about is saying that there are people who I appreciate, people who I love. There's a lifestyle I want to live, and I'm wealthy enough to do that when I get to do that. For some people, that's just laying out in the field with the person you love, holding hands, watching the stars in the sky. For some people, that's just going for a walk, going out to dinner, watching a movie. For my wife and I and our 7 children, it's about being able to spend quality time watching them grow. We have a child that we're teaching to drive, and we have a child who's recently learned how to walk. And so we have this whole range, this whole gamut of things that are important to us, that we love, and we want to spend time with them. We want to be there for those things. We no longer want to find ourselves away from the house 12 to 16 hours a day, desperately trying to find a way to engage and encourage and be a part of our children's lives. And so what has to happen? If we don't make a change, if we don't change, our outcome is not going to change. It's important for us to understand that this requires action from us. This requires us to be out here. It requires us to take the steps. It requires for us to always be dedicated to our specific work and moving forward with it. I want to check up on a couple of these comments. Correct. Learn to learn. I've always told my children the whole purpose of school is not to teach you how to go out and make money, right? The whole purpose of school is to learn to learn. School teaches you how to learn to learn. The educational system can be lambasted. A lot of people say that there are major issues with it, but if you understand the purpose of it, if you understand that the real responsibility as the parent and as the true guidance, it's about learning to learn. Jesse, we're going to talk more about the cost of cars in just a moment. So yes, so as Zach said, so Hilda, money, so listen, Everything that we do is about developing ourselves. It's about discipline. It's about growing. This isn't about whether or not you can make money off of it. That's an after effect. Whatever it is you do, Hilda, for example, you said that the children want to be spoon-fed. In whatever space that you can find to solve problems for someone, if you are a problem solver, people, then the people who problems you're solving are willing to pay you for it because they understand the value of it. Anything that you bring a value to someone's life, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. If the price is in this box, but the issue you solve is huge, then what happens is the person says, whatever that price is, I'm willing to pay it because you've resolved this issue for me. I'm not out here selling you anything. I'm out here because I'm here to motivate. I'm out here because I'm here to encourage. I've been a personal trainer for over 15 years. My time as a personal trainer taught me that being able to support people and help people is a major part of what my job was. And it really wasn't about the fitness goal. It was about mostly what people were dealing with mentally and emotionally. But here's the thing. My first 5 years as a personal trainer, I didn't make money because I simply worked out in the gym. And when someone walked into the gym and they say, hey, how do I get like you? How do I do what you do? I would just invite them to work out with me. I would spend hours in the gym showing people the appropriate way to lift, helping people achieve fitness goals, helping people grow, helping people get better, but I wasn't charging anyone. And it wasn't until someone came up to me and they said, hey, you're giving it away. And I'm like, dude, it's just working out. I'm letting people work out with me because I'm working out, which is true. But at the same time, and I can let you know this, in the beginning of my fitness career, my wife and I were living hand to mouth. I was struggling. I'm doing working out. I'm in the gym. I'm trying to sell memberships. I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to figure out ways to do things, but I'm not selling my personal training. And my family is suffering because people are coming in and I didn't know. All I had to do was say to them, hey, this is going to cost you. And at some point, things cost. And this is what you're talking about with the kids, why the kids think everything should be handed to them. They think everything should be handed to them because they're like, well, why should I have to do the work? Why should I have to pay for something? Why should something cost anything for me? I just want it. You have it. Let me have it. Why am I not the manager yet? I've been here for 2 months. So what we do, when I tell you that your focus has to be on developing yourself and growing yourself and then putting yourself in a space to be there to support others, to be there to talk about and give guidance to others, it's very, very important that we're considering the things that we need to take care of, but also the people we're caring for. I've worked with clients who have been brought to tears. I worked with a woman before who wanted to get ready for her wedding, and she didn't know how. And so she was trying all types of fad diets and everything. And she came to a gym that I helped open with a friend of mine in Maryland. And we were able to assist her over a 3-month period to get prepared for her wedding. And so I know the things that happen in people's lives are life-changing, but I also know in order for us to achieve anything, in order for us individually to be able to bring a value to other people's lives and to be able to appropriately appreciate our own lives, we have to understand that it starts with discipline. And if part of what you're looking for is achieving richness and riches and a high and a lot of money, that also requires discipline. And don't get me wrong, I don't equate rich with wealthy. They're two different things. Putting money in your bank account is one thing. Being wealthy is something completely different. But I don't espouse either as well. I'm not going to demonize one for the sake of the other because it's not true. There's a saying that says, you will never work hard to become something that you hate, okay? And a lot of people hate rich people. They hate rich people, and this hatred of rich people gives them the ability to default eject from the rich. It gives them the ability to be able to say, oh, well, this isn't for me because this is for rich people. This isn't for me because this is something that rich people do. This isn't for me because rich people are evil. Rich people are mean. They try to control everything. Rich people are they put you down. Rich people, they don't understand what I'm going through. And so they demonize the rich. And because they demonize them, they try to find ways to make them bad. We live in a society where the rich create entertainment designed to make you hate the rich so that you do not try to become rich. Every bad guy, every villain, and everything you've seen has always been rich. And the one rich guy, right? And this isn't news, this isn't new, and this may not be the first time you've heard this. The one rich guy who's a good guy is freaking Batman, and he's a horrible person. He has so much turmoil and inner grief and so much pain and anger that he is a bad person in and of himself. Okay, so what do they teach us? They teach us, oh, you don't want to be rich. Your character and your morals are worth more than that. Don't attempt to achieve wealth. Attempt to be a good person. But then when you die, I'm going to tax your family for a coffin. All right? And so what I'm trying to say, I'm only saying this to say, it's not about money, but it is. But it starts with you. You can't achieve great wealth. You can't achieve great richness. You can't grow your finances if you lack discipline. People who work a standard everyday job, if you can't show up on time, if you don't have the enough ability to be self-aware and to be self-accountable for the time that you're supposed to be at work, if you can't get to work on time, you're not going to be rich. You're not going to achieve richness. And then you're going to blame your job. Oh, they don't understand me. They don't know how hard it is. Of course they know how hard it is. Of course they do. And so that's going to be the important thing, guys. And that's what I'm trying to say is this isn't really about money. It's not. Money is secondary. Same thing, the question about the car and how much money you should pay for the car. You have to understand when it comes time to pay for a car, when it comes time to get a car, it's a question of whether or not it's a need for you. How much of a need is it for you? And then what car would you like to have? I don't care if you want a $100,000 car, $600,000 car, or a $30,000 car. I'll let you know this, that car is not going towards your future. It's not going towards building generational wealth. It's not going towards making sure your children and your grandchildren have a starting point for them to be able to ensure that they can go to college, get secondary degrees, start businesses for themselves. No, that car is not going to do that. But that car is a tool. That car does provide you with a resource and a asset to be able to, or a tool to be able to achieve goals that you're out for. But it always comes back to you. This is why what I talk about here, I talk about discipline. And I talk about the 4 pillars of discipline. Discipline is about repetition, consistency, patience, and perseverance. Here's how it works. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, you need to get up and ring that bell every morning, every afternoon, whatever time it is that you need to do this thing you need to do, you need to ring it. You need to ring that bell. If it's about your finances, then you need to make sure you're ringing that bell every week, every 2 weeks. You're checking your finances. You're cutting out the expenses that you don't need to have, right? If it's about your health, then you need to be ringing the bell. You need to get up and you need to constantly be taking actions on the things that are important about your health, the things that you said that you're going to do, the things that you've decided are important in terms of your diet. If it's going to be about your fitness, then you need to ring the bell. Whatever it is, the repetition is just you getting up and doing it. And then after that, the important thing is going to be consistency. Am I doing it at a level that is showing improvement, right? We have to always be showing improvement. That's what consistency is. That's the difference between repetition and consistency, all right? And then the next thing, you have to understand that once you show repetition and consistency, you have to understand it's not going to happen overnight. And because it's not going to happen overnight, you need to be prepared to wait. You need to be prepared to know it's going to take time to achieve this goal. And then the next thing that's going to happen is you must persevere, because there will be tough times. There will be people who say you can't do it. There will be times where you miss a day. There will be time where important things come up and require for you to pay bills. There will be a lot of things that will happen that will cause for you to need to make sure that you continue to go and work through the changes and the difficulty. But when you have these things, and you start working, then you're moving towards the other things, right? So these are personal things. And so so I'm gonna take a look at the chat. It says, understand what you're saying, they dream. Money will come our way regardless. We do what we're supposed to do. A car will depreciate, correct. This is a passive asset. You got to also take a look. You have to ask questions about the houses as well, guys. I know I'm about to get off as well, guys. I'm normally done. I'm already over the time I'm normally on. I did stay on a little bit longer because the original stream that I started, for some reason, it didn't connect. So I do want to say this, though. The asset part, the acquisition of funds, there are a lot of things I don't know. And I don't know what field you guys work in, but there are a lot of things that you don't know. When you get money to the point where you need to hire somebody to help you manage your money, to understand what to do next with your money and how to grow generational wealth, when you really start to study money, the key to money and the purpose of money is making more money, right? When your whole objective is to say the money that I make from exchanging my time for money, I'm going to take that money and I'm going to only use that money to make more money. And I will only buy and pay for things with money that my money makes. It's life-changing, completely life-changing. And I'm telling you that I'm progressing to that point. I haven't achieved that yet, but I've started to already see the simple changes that doing things like taking my money and setting it aside and using it for investments, and then pulling from those investments and using those dividends to invest in other things so that my money makes money. That's a completely different level of financial achievement. When I share with you that it's not just about land, it's not just about a house, it's more than that, right? There are different levels of mindset, but the key that I discuss here on BNB Finance Fixers is discipline and leadership skill sets, because when you develop those, you put yourself into a position where you know that what you do brings value to people. And as you increase your value in the marketplace, as I said early, if the price fits in here and the problem is this big, right, and the price fits in here, you can put whatever price you want in there because it's solving a person's problem. It can be $10,000, $150,000, $2 million, who knows? But here's what the thing is. In order to get there, we have to work on ourselves. We have to spend more time developing ourselves and working on ourselves than we do working on our jobs. Meaning, whatever we do for work, we go in and we read handbooks and we go to meetings and we follow a structure so that we can learn how to work hard to make their business and their life better and help them grow. We have to do the same thing for ourselves. We have to make sure we're studying and learning and earning for ourselves. It's 5:12. I'm about to get off here, guys. I need to get back to the house. And hey, guys, I'm on here every morning. As I said before, I have to start this run back. I'm on here every morning from 4:30 to 5 a.m. I appreciate you guys being in. I appreciate you being a part of the chat. I appreciate the questions. I want you guys to stay strong. Get out there, get on your grind, stay on your hustle, and understand that it's always about you. Stay blessed, guys. Take care.